In the previous video, you learned about molar mass and how you get the mass using the periodic table. In this video, we're going to talk about percent composition. Now, each substance or each compound, consists of elements. And when we talk about percent composition, we're talking about the percent by mass of each element in the compound. Basically, what is the percent of each element in a particular substance? So to calculate the percent composition, we use this formula: mass of the element divided by the total mass of the compound times 100. Part over whole times 100. Now, when we talk about the masses of these elements and compounds, we are using the periodic table. And remember, when you are using the masses from the periodic table, you are rounding the masses to the 100th place. So for these problems, when you're finding the percent, you are rounding your answer to the 100th place as well. And the unit for all of these answers are going to be percent. So let's take a look at the first problem. What is the percent composition of sodium in sodium chloride? So in other words, we want to know how much sodium makes up sodium chloride. So to set up the problem, we are finding the mass of sodium and putting it on top. And then we're finding the mass of the entire compound, so sodium plus chlorine, and putting that on the bottom. So the mass of sodium is 22.99, and we're going to find the individual masses. And we have 22.99 plus 35.45, because that's the mass of sodium and that's the mass of chlorine. And then next, you're going to add up the numbers in your denominator. Don't make the mistake of just crossing out the 22.99. You can't do that because you are adding the numbers on the bottom, so those actually don't cancel out. So we add up the numbers on the bottom, and we have a total of 58.44. So 22.99 divided by the total mass, 58.44, times 100 is equal to 39.34%. Now, like I said in the previous video, make sure you have your calculator out. Make sure you're taking the time to put these numbers into your calculator and that your numbers match up with the numbers in this video. Number 2. What is the percent composition of hydrogen in H2O in water? Now think about this. How many hydrogens do we have in water? We have 2 hydrogens. So we put 2 hydrogens on top and the entire compound on the bottom, so 2 H's plus an oxygen. So let's look up the masses on the periodic table and set that up. The mass of hydrogen is 1.01. And we're going to multiply that by 2, again, because there are 2 hydrogens. And on the bottom, we multiply 2 times 1.01, and then you add the mass of oxygen, so that's 16. Let's go ahead and figure out the numbers for the numerator and the denominator. So 2.02, and the total mass is 18.02 times 100 is equal to 11.21%. So this means that there's 11.21% of hydrogen in water. Water consists of 11.21% of hydrogen. Feel free to pause the video here and try these problems out for yourself. Play when you're ready. What is the percent composition of sulfur in aluminum sulfate? We have 3 sulfurs that go on top and the entire mass of aluminum sulfate on the bottom. So for the numerator, we get 96.18 divided by 342.14 times 100, and we have an answer of 28.11%. So there's 28.11% of sulfur in aluminum sulfate. Last problem. What percentage of water is found in sodium sulfide hydrate? Remember that a hydrate means that there are water crystals that are attached to the ionic compound. I know in math class that dot means that you multiply, but in this case, really, you're just adding the masses of the water. So, because I want to find the percentage of water, and there are 9 water molecules here, I'm going to do 9 times 18.02, because the entire molar mass of water is 18.02. On the bottom, you get the mass of the sodium sulfide, and then you're going to add the mass of all the waters. So 2 times 22.99 plus 32.06, there's your sodium sulfide part, and then you add the 9 waters. So you should get 162.18 divided by 240.22 times 100, and this hydrate consists of 67.51% of water.